Hello, welcome to Let's Play Boxing. This afternoon we're joined by Sean from Brighton. How you going, Sean?
Yeah, very good. Thanks, mate. Yourself?
Yeah, not bad. This video's been in the making for a while, hasn't it? We've been threatening to do this for a while. Where do I start with an intro for this one? So obviously there's big fractions at the minute in boxing, be it Eddie falling out with Turkey, although he insists he hasn't fell out with Turkey. Be it Tyson Fury fighting under the Ring magazine banner. What does that mean for Queensbury and Frank Warren? I could go on and on and on before we even get to GBM and people like that. So, Sean, if you can, this is a big ask, just give us a bit of an overview about where we are with the state of the boxing landscape. It was all singing come by 12 months ago. We couldn't believe our luck. I've not even mentioned Dana White and stuff.
Yeah.
So good luck with that one. Over to you.
Yeah, it's in a complete mess, I think, unfortunately. I think there was a few people that foreseen this coming, I think. And I think it's come to fruition, I think. Unfortunately, this was probably always Turkey's aim to control boxing by himself, which obviously he's aiming to do, albeit with a few helpers along the way. But I just not knowing boxing so fragmented at the moment. You obviously got Frank Warren filing legal suits left, right, and centre. You've got Eddie Hearn and his relationship to Turkey, although he's dressing it up as they'll still work together. Who knows? Yeah. Then you've obviously got, well, over here on our shores, Ben Shalom and Sowlands. So, yeah, dissect it how you will.
So, what do you think the main aim is here, Sean? Because what do you think Turkey Al-Sheikh's agenda is? We all know what Dana White's agenda is. He wants a boxing version of UFC, don't he, where he controls it all. But there's so many facets to this video. I don't want to be 4 hours long. But I do wonder about the WBA, the WBC, the IBF, what it means for them moving forward. Because, let's have it right, as much as prestige is important to fighters, if there's enough zeros at the end of the check, they will jump over to Zuffa. We've already seen early indication of how that can happen, right?
Yeah, I think the IBF, to their credit, they done the right thing by not sanctioning Opetai's fight for the belt. I think we're going to see a big break in boxing. I think, as you alluded to there. Money talks, it always has done. It's a dangerous career, as we know. I think, though, you'll see a large percentage, or I hope at least, you'll see a large percentage stay true to the lineal belts and boxing, because no one grows up wanting to be a Zuffa champion, however much money they pay you, do they? You've seen it in the past. Yeah. People speak about the traditional belts. The WBC is the main one everyone speaks about, I think.
Yeah.
So I think you'll always see boxers trying to set their stall outs, winning for that. And let's be honest, if they're good enough and win world titles, 9 times out of 10, their money follows as well, doesn't it?
Yeah. Sean, who do you think is going to be the winners and losers out of this merry-go-round that we've got going on? It's serious problems for Warren and Hearn, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, we saw this 6-7 years ago to a lesser degree when PBC come in and they signed a few of the top boys back then. But obviously, this is a totally different stratosphere with the money that Turkey has and the funding behind them. I actually think, ironically, that Matchroom and Queensbury will come out of this stronger. To be honest, I think it will probably bring the two of them closer together if that's possible, and I think they'll almost have a view of it's them against the world.
Eddie is very quick to say that Matchroom is a massive organisation, £1 billion company, whatever number he throws around, and that the Turkey Al-Sheikh is just a cream on top, really, that makes it a little bit more profitable. So that would suggest it is the case. However, he didn't really want to be picking a fight with Dana White, did he?
No. I think that's sensible, really. I think what Matchroom are doing, or from the outside looking in at least, what I can see they're doing, is they're letting him cast their net, sort of put their cojones out on the table to show people how big they are. then I think what they're doing is they're going to say, okay, well, we're the proper boxing people in Eddie Hearn's mind, and this is how we can build a career. Look what they've done with Tom Aspinall recently, signed him to their talent agency.
Video dropping soon, Sean. Video dropping soon.
Yeah, I mean, it's not going to be dull, put it that way, the next sort of 18 to 24 months, I think, with comings and goings and everything that we're going to be seeing.
So we fast forward 12 months then, Sean, just to finish the video off, because we could go in so many different directions. This is untrue. We sit here in 12 months' time, so we're heading into Easter 27. Dana White saying that we're going to be very surprised by judge him in 2027, not at the minute. I've got real concerns that Eddie Hearn might float Matchroom, pack his bags, and head for the sun, because Southern boxing is almost like this juggernaut, isn't it? It's on the horizon. It's not quite here yet, but you can see it gathering momentum. The shows are quite poor at the minute, in my opinion. There's a lot for them to improve on, but they will do, because of TKO, they do all the WWE production. The production is going to get better as they sign the bigger fights. Eddie Hearn might think I've had enough. He has said it in the past, hasn't it? There will be a time where he's had enough. And Frank Warren might think, listen, I'm however old I am, I'll leave it to George. Could it be a scenario in 12 months' time that Eddie and Frank Warren are not even in the game?
I think with Frank, yes, I think that's a real possibility. I don't think with Eddie. I think Eddie secretly probably loves this competition and probably loves the challenge, if I'm being honest. So I think, if anything, it will light a rocket up him and make him up his game. But Frank, as you say, he's of a certain age, similar to Bob Arum, I suppose, in a way, where they may see we've done our bit for boxing. Let's rest our feet up and let others get on with it. But I think, to answer your question, I think Eddie Hearn will still be around.
Even though, let's have it again. I'm a big Eddie Hearn fan. I've been called fanboy on Twitter and everything. But you look at his stable, Sean, and in 12 months' time, he could argue that AJ will be gone. He may well have had the Fury fight and done. Conor Benn's gone. We don't know if he's going to come back, but I doubt he would in 12 months. So all of a sudden, he's looking around at that stable at Matchroom and thinking, okay, I've got Josh Keller, who was on Channel 5 not so long ago, so he's got a building job there to be done. And where else are we going in the Matchroom stable? For someone who can legitimately, maybe Dalton Smith, but there's a building job there to be done if you talk about worldwide exposure as well.
Yeah. So I think all the eggs are in the Ben Whittaker basket now, aren't they?
But we're not hearing nothing about him, are we?
No, I think he's fighting in America in May, I think. But yeah, it's true. They don't have any stars. Katie Taylor or another one that's ending her career.
Yeah,
going to be having one fight in the summer to retire in Ireland. So that's probably their biggest problem at the minute. They haven't built the stars like they have had the last 7, 8, 9 years, and that's been a problem, because since they've been with DAZN, I think they've taken their eye off their ball, certainly here for UK fight fans, and definitely since they linked up with Turkey. We don't have the stars we did. Look, I don't know, 10 years ago perhaps, we had Anthony Crolla, Kell Brook, routinely having world title fights and selling out Manchester Arena, Sheffield Arena. We just don't have that at the moment with anyone.
Here we go then, because I'm going to use this on the thumbnail. I'm predicting that Eddie Hearn doesn't see 2028 in boxing. And the Seagull agrees with me, look. So, yeah, 2028, I do not think Hearn's in boxing. I think he's got them other irons in the fire. He's already talked about the talent, whatever he calls it, the talent academy or whatever. He's going to go into football. So I think he'll move Matchroom. Don't get me wrong, they still have a boxing division, but I think Eddie has got ideas to get that talent, whatever he calls it, talent company into football. He's still got the darts, which is massive. Don't forget that Barry Hearn sat boxing off, didn't he? In not too different situation. That He lost his love for the sport. Yep, there you go, Sean. 2028, Eddie Hearn's not in boxing. If I ever get a chance to put it to him in an interview that I'm going to a few shows in the next few weeks, I'll try and put it to him.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely not beyond the realms, and they're obviously grooming's probably the wrong word, but they're making Frank Smith more prominent, aren't they, for this eventuality as well.
And Frank's probably a good fit because he's more pragmatic than Eddie is. Eddie's a salesman, isn't he? Frank Smith, from what we're led to believe, is a numbers person. So, because they've got some adjusting to do, haven't they? Because they've had this 24, 36 month of a gravy train from Saudi Arabia with very good money. And now they're having to, from the outside looking in, having to scale down the size of fight nights, you would suggest.
Yeah, I think ironically, I mean Frank doesn't live too far from me. He lives here in Brighton, so I have to be nice to him. I think he's probably going to be a decent boxing promoter if he comes out that way, because how he speaks about the sport and the fighters, you can definitely tell that he has knowledge, arguably more than Eddie Hearn when he sort of first started. Yeah. So I think in terms of domestic news for us, it's probably good news if Frank does take over at some point.
Interesting. Okay, we'll bring it to an end there because we could go in so many different directions, which we're all covering future videos. So that's all things of boxing landscape. We only scratch the surface, if we're honest, but we like to do short, sharp videos. Like, comment, subscribe, post your comments below. This has been Last World Boxing, proudly sponsored by Shaw Building Services and SC Travel. We'll see you on the next video. Cheers, Sean.